Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart has an official release date, and we've got some amazing news, but I want to be able to talk today about, is Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart going to be that big PlayStation 5 seller going into the summer? We're going to talk about that right now. I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank. I have grown up with the Ratchet and Clank games all the way back on the old consoles and PlayStation, and I have loved it even in the last one on PlayStation 4, and I've been very excited to be able to get my hands on this new game, Rift Apart, coming into this summer. It's an odd time though, because as we are getting into, out of the launch window, and they said that this was going to be a launch window game. I guess it is, since we've had the consoles for several months, but we haven't had any big first party games. Anyways, it's nice that we're actually going to get a game like Ratchet and Clank. It is a great console game. It's beautiful, and I'm excited that this is going to be a PS5 exclusive so that we can actually see what they will do, what Sony will do, and Insomniac will do in terms of taking advantage of the PS5 hardware and being able to have that interdimension stuff that we are seeing all the trailers surrounding. June 11th, 2020 is the release date for Ratchet and Clank, and I am wondering, and the question I have for all of you is, do you think that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is going to be a console seller? Do you think that it is enough to get console players to go from PS4 to PS5? And I know the consoles are hard to find. I know that they're not available everywhere, and like as soon as they pop up on Best Buy, they're gone. Let's live in a world where we have the consoles available. Let's live in a world where you and I can get our hands on everything we need. So, having said that, do you think that Ratchet and Clank has enough in it, has enough of a history with Sony and Insomniac Games doing such great work that it will bring players over, possibly bring players from Xbox over to the PlayStation ecosystem, or even there could it be enough to move players from PS4 to PS5? What's interesting too is that Rift Apart is actually going to be a full price title. When our previous Ratchet and Clank game came out for PlayStation 4, it got a Metacritic score of 85%. It was very well received, and it actually cost a lot less. Now here in Canada, it costs I think it was $40 game or $50 game at the time of its actual release. It was less than what a full traditional AAA title would cost. And here in Canada, our pricing for games has actually gone up this year with the new generation of games, where it's actually $10 more on top. So a traditional brand new PS5 game actually ends up costing us $89.99. With Ratchet and Clank, it seems to be that it is actually going to be a full price title. Now, this doesn't usually mean much, but I know for a lot of us in the community, we tend to look at a game that is not priced at full $79.99, $69.99, whatever, full price AAA level, that we have some hesitation towards it, that we might think that this game is going to be lesser than. That because it's not a full-fledged AAA title and it costs a little bit less, that maybe it's not going to perform as well. Ratchet and Clank on PS4, for me, was a game that outperformed itself, that was beautiful to play. I had a huge amount of fun playing that game, and I'm excited for what it does on the PS5. Does it matter to you when a game actually does cost a little bit less? Because what we're seeing with Ratchet and Clank this time around is that it is going to be a fully priced PS5 title. And I don't know if that necessarily means good or bad or indifferent, but I know that Insomniac Games will put a lot of love and care and attention into this title, and I think it's going to have a lot of players excited to get their hands on something brand new from Sony and from Insomniac Games. I have all the faith in the world that Insomniac will pull it off and be able to do something really cool here, but what does Ratchet and Clank need to do for you? Does it need to do anything different when it comes to, Ratchet and Clank from PS4? For new players, what does it need to do there? Because it's a PS5 exclusive, so because we have a console shortage too, guys, you have a smaller audience that can experience this in its current iteration, its current setting. I hope it does enough to actually bring new players in and experience Ratchet and Clank, and I think that it will do a great job of telling a funny, gorgeous story all the way through, and people will get their fill and really enjoy it. But what do all of you think? Is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart going to be a really big boost console seller? Because as we look down the road into the summer and fall, we're not too sure about the Sony first party lineup of what the release dates are going to be. We have release windows. When we look at things like God of War, Ragnarok coming out, it's all going to kind of be in terms of a, launch window, and we don't know when we're going to get these titles. Hopefully Ratchet and Clank doesn't get delayed or anything. I don't see why not at this point, but I really hope that this game knocks it out of the park. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Assemble. I'm Matt. If you can, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell too, so you can get updates on all the content we're doing here every single week. We are moving towards our first 1,000 subscribers here on the YouTube, and I really appreciate you guys checking the show out and giving up those minutes that you have to check things out over here. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, and as always, thank you for assembling with us. See ya.